Am I an a-hole for calling my BF a gatekeeper? We just finished watching the Black Widow movie, and I told him that I already loved the beginning, but towards the middle of the action scene, it seemed a bit messy and convoluted and ended up not enjoying it much. He then said that it was because I didn't understand some inside Easter eggs, because I haven't watched like 50% of the Marvel movies. The thing is, I've watched them and I'm only missing Infinity War. He proceeded to call me a liar and change his narrative, saying that I haven't really watched them because I didn't sit down and watch them in order, and because I haven't talked to him about other movies. I explained to him that I had a life before him, that he can't tell me I haven't watched something I watched before I met him, and that it's annoying that he keeps insisting that I haven't watched something and calling me a liar. He even wanted to go through every Marvel movie for me to tell him what they were about and prove to him that I've watched them and I remember them, because if I haven't watched them, I don't remember small details. It means that I haven't really watched them. Anyway, I told him he sounds like a gatekeeper by telling me that I can't comment on the movie, that I can't dislike it because I don't need his standards of what it means to really watch a Marvel movie, and explained that the timeline and the character relationships are not difficult to understand and I can connect the dots when watching the movies. It's not rocket science. He has now decided to sleep on the couch because he is angry and his stupid argument he has started. Because I called him a gatekeeper and because I can't admit I haven't watched most Marvel movies. Am I the a-hole? Update. Well, I think my 2-year relationship is really over because of Black Widow. I sat him down to have a conversation, but he just kept getting defensive. Thank you for your response, and I have to figure out how I'm going to move out. Am I an a-hole for wanting to keep my bees even though my new neighbor's son is highly allergic to them? I've been keeping bees as my hobby for 6 years now. I have 4 hives in my suburban backyard, along with a large garden. My hives are all properly registered and are legal to keep in my town as of right now. A problem is that my new neighbors have asked me to get rid of my bees. They purchased the house and moved in over winter and hadn't noticed my girls until this spring. Apparently, their son is highly allergic to bee stings. He has been hospitalized for more than once and has carried an EpiPen. They asked nicely but seemed a little upset when I said I don't think I can do that. They didn't push the issue with me further, but I saw the rant on next door that I am sure they're written by them. Luckily, it didn't pass, and they mentioned in the minutes that the current beekeepers would have to be grandfathers, and if it did. Because of that, I am even more worried of giving it up in case they do bring this legislation up again. If I have active hives, I can keep them. My neighbors and I aren't really in speaking terms right now. Am I an a-hole for wanting to keep doing my hobby? Thank you for your input, everyone. Since I've suggested this, I do already have security cameras in place all around my house and pointing directly to the hives. You can't access the hives without spending significant amount of time on videos. The hives are also behind locked fences. I just purchased a sign to put on their gate that says this area is under video surveillance and will be affixing that to their gate ASAP. Am I an a-hole for giving back a present that was just trying to make a point? So I, 22, have recently come out as a lesbian and have realized I'm more comfortable being more bunch and masculine than I was previously, when I still had bunch of hangouts about appealing to men and thought I was bisexual. It's a whole thing and it's very complicated. My family have had mixed reactions, but my absolute favorite, my uncle 50s, is very masculine man's man, but he's done a lot of work to challenge attitudes to gender, sexuality, etc. from his youth, and has one of the most equitable relationships I've ever seen. He has been very delightedly showing me how to pull apart engines, ride a motorbike, fix a shelf, kick on a footy, etc. His 2 sons, who he loves, are not interested in any of this, so he's very happy to have someone he can share with. And he and I have always been very close. He is a great teacher. My coming out was hard on my mom, and my dressing and acting more masculine and chopping my hair off has made it very uncomfortable. My birthday was recently, and my uncle, being the absolute gem he is, bought me my first motorcycle, a second-hand one we're going to fix together. Absolutely was delighted. My mom and my aunt bought me basically a feminine kit. That's the only way I can think of it. Expensive makeup from Sephora, haircare products, some were Flora and Cutie China. I actually kind of like this. My interior decorator is very cottagecore stereotype. Gift cards and very feminine lingerie places and shops that I could predominantly feminine clothing. Spa treatments, it must have cost them a fortune. In fact, I know it did. I'm not ignorant of the cost of high-end makeup. They probably spend more than my uncle. TBH. I just couldn't fake being excited about it. Obviously, I thanked them for their generosity, but I'm not very good liar. And it was super obvious that I was more happy about the bike and I was about the gifts. My mom got really hurt. She said she just wanted to help me see what was right, and I was just so angry I told them both to keep the present and went home. Now everyone is calling me ungrateful and rude. I've struggled so hard to come to terms with who I am, and I hate that I have to pretend to keep the peace within the family rather than them loving me for who I actually am.